The Naked Gun series of films premiered in 1988, a movie continuation of the flop TV show Police Squad. While the spoof of police procedurals didn't find an audience when it ran on ABC for just 6 episodes in 1982, the misadventures of Leslie Nielsen's Lieutenant Frank Drebin were a smash success on the big screen, leading to a trilogy in the late 20th century and a reboot film in 2025. The simultaneously stupid and brilliant scripts by director David Zucker, Jerry Zucker, Jim Abrams, Pat Profitt, and others were loaded with zingers, absurdist non sequiturs, and psych eggs that, nearly 40 years later, are largely unparalleled. So join the great pop culture debate for a special Patreon-sponsored episode as we attempt to determine the best Naked Gun movie quote of all time. Tonight, I'm being honored for my 1,000th criminal killed. But in all honesty, the last 3 I backed over in my car. Luckily, they turned out to be drug dealers. I'm your host, Eric Rezsnyak. Please help me welcome my police squad for this episode. I'm dating again. Nice lady. She wrote the book on male sexual dysfunction. Our first panelist has probably read it. Please welcome the Patreon sponsor for this episode, Dr. Chad Rezsnyak.
I love it.
By the way, Chad, that Swedish sure grip suck machine you ordered has come in.
It's a gift.
Next, you may be familiar with our second panelist, Bob Erlenback. His strong, manly hands probed every crevice of her silken femininity, their undulating bodies rising in sensual rhythm as he thrust his purple-headed... Bob, I can't say this. It's a copyright infringement from Stroking the Love Muffin.
I knew you wouldn't be able to. I've heard that you're not into quivering mounds of love pudding.
No, but I am into tumescent links of Italian sausage. And finally, welcome back our guest panelist for this episode. He's a ranking member in the organization's Siblings Looking for Unlimited Tricks, or SLUT. It's Todd Rezsnyak. He hasn't had this much sex since he was a Boy Scout.
You're just jealous.
Honestly, yes. If you're curious about how we ended up with this stupid 16, become a Patreon supporter of our little show or listen to the 3-minute preview available wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't forget that you can head to this episode on greatpopculturedebate.com to find the listener bracket as well as all 16 nominated quotes so you can play along with us at home. As this is a quote episode, we'll be acting out these lines. If you want to watch us doing so, head to our page on YouTube to see the video version of this episode. Otherwise, enjoy the vocal stylings of the GPCD players as they reenact quotes from the original 3 Naked Gun films. First up, a quote from Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear, in which Bob will portray Frank as he questions Jane, played by me, regarding what she saw the night of the bombing of the Mannheimer Institute. Chad will assist as Ed. Bob, take it away.
Jane, can you tell us anything about the man you saw last night?
Well, he's Caucasian.
Caucasian?
Yeah, you know, a white guy. A mustache, about 5'10".
That's an awfully big mustache.
And that will go up against a quote from the original Naked Gun as Frank tries to break through to a mind-controlled Jane who is about to shoot him, and Todd will play Frank.
It's a topsy-turvy world, and maybe the problems of 2 people don't amount to a hill of beans, but this is our hill, and these are our beans.
So that's an awfully big mustache versus this is our hill and these are our beans. Bob, I'm going to start with you. Are you going with mustache or beans?
So originally I chose it's an awfully big mustache, but I'm thinking I'm actually going to switch over to beans. I don't know why I picked mustache initially, but I think this is our hill and this is our beans is something that is pretty iconic from the movie all around, and I use it in my real life. I can't find use for this is awfully big. That's an awfully big mustache. I just can't find a use for it. It's not practical. And yes, it's a spoof off of Casablanca for sure, right? But the spoof on it is just so great and so iconic, and it's such an amazing scene in the film. So I think I'm switching from mustache to beans.
Okay, there goes your sex life. Todd, is it going to be mustache or beans?
I think I also suggested the mustache, but I gotta say, I think that the staying power of these are our beans, and the earnestness, which is probably about the only point of earnestness you get in the entire film. So I think I'm gonna go with this is our hill and these are our beans.
Dr. Chad, is it going to be mustache or beans?
Who cares about earnestness? It's the Naked Gun. No, I'm going for what's funny, and the mustache one is funny. Is it funny in and of itself? No, but it's the exchange that makes that funny. We're hill and our beans. Like I think we recited that as kids just because of whatever.
We did.
But yeah, it's one of the ones that just kind of lives in my head. But just the snap of it, where it's like, mustache, 6'3", awfully big mustache. It's just so funny the way he misinterprets it. So I'm mustache all the way on this one.
I'm giving it to the mustache because I think it's funny. Like the Our Hills and Our Villains, we would recite it all the time as kids. I still do to this day. And Leslie Nielsen's direction with it, our hill and our beans, is so good. But I think the mustache line is like peak Naked Gun exchange ridiculousness. It's a tie on this Patreon sponsored ones. The Patreon sponsor gets the tiebreaker. Chad.
Boo.
He's going with the mustache. We're living in the mustache era, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll move into round 2. Next, in exchange from the original Naked Gun, in which the mayor, voiced by me, lectures Frank, played by Todd, on his previous unorthodox actions. Drebin, I don't want any more trouble like you had last year on the South Side. Understand? That's my policy.
Yes, well, when I see 5 weirdos dressed in togas stabbing a guy in the middle of the park in full view of 100 people, I shoot the bastards. That's my policy.
That was a Shakespeare in the Park production of Julius Caesar, you moron. You killed 5 actors. Good ones. That's up against a quote from Naked Gun 33 and a third, the final insult, as Bob, voicing actress Raquel Welch, first time we've ever talked about Raquel Welch on this podcast, tries to reveal the winning film at the Academy Awards, while Frank, disguised as Phil Donahue and voiced by Chad, tries to stall for time. Bob?
And the winner is
Raquel, so many go to bed hungry in this nation, yet cat food is full of tuna. Each time I go to the zoo and I see those porpoises crammed into tiny tanks, I think, what a waste that is. Butcher half of them now. That's a lot of dolphin meat that can be fed to our cats, freeing up that tuna for our nation's hungry.
And the winner is
So many are cold, shivering in the night. So I say, take those cats, skin them, use their fur to keep hundreds warm.
Jesus, Phil.
Okay, so it's I shoot the bastards, that's my policy, versus Jesus Phil. I'd like to start this time with Todd. Where are you coming down on this one?
Oh God, Jesus Phil is just so good. I'm sorry. Like I love I love the shooting people in the park. I do, but the interaction between the two of them, especially Raquel Welch, is just phenomenal. The way she delivers the line is just phenomenal. It's got to be Jesus Phil, and I use that all the time, and I'm sure you all do too. I'm sure you do.
I just want to point out to the
Daily.
San Francisco Police Department, if they're listening to this, Todd does not personally enjoy shooting people in the park. I think we need to clarify these things. Chad, is it going to be Jesus Phil or shooting people in the park?
This is actually really tough, but it has to be Jesus Phil. I mean, just with how much we use it throughout the course of our lives, yeah, has to be.
Bob, I think I know where you're going on this one.
Obviously, you know where I'm going on this one. It's Jesus, Phil, but my God, are these two incredibly funny moments from both of their respectful movies, right? It is so that Shakespeare in the Park exchange and Leslie Nielsen delivering that with such seriousness and such absolutely, that's my policy. I shoot the bastards, right? Like it is just, he is so committed to that line. And they're just like, well, that was a Shakespeare in the Park production of Julius Caesar. It is hilarious. But Jesus, Phil, my God, I can't get away from it. It is probably a daily, I probably reference it daily. I'm sure you can say, Eric, that I say it to you all the time. I'm sure my roommate would say the same thing, that I say Jesus, Phil, all the time. It's Jesus, Phil.
First, I do think that the mayor in the first film is actually played by Nancy Marchand, who was the mother on Sopranos, who died halfway through the production of the first season. I'll double check that before we include that, but I believe that is true. Second, we were discussing prior to recording, Naked Gun 33 and a third is not a good movie. Like, it is by far the weakest of the original trilogy.
True.
The only good part of that whole movie is the Academy Award sequence, which is pretty great. The Pia Zadora gag with the tuba on her head, this whole fucking moment, what Weird Al and Vanna White getting taken hostage. Like, there's so many great moments in the Academy Awards part, but that movie overall really punches down in a way the previous two movies didn't. But this fucking moment with Raquel Welch and Leslie Nielsen, both of them are peerless. I'm giving it a clean sweep to Jesus Phil, and it will move into round 2.
Jesus,
Side note,
Eric.
before we move on,
Yes,
is Weird Al in all 3 of those movies? I'm pretty
he
sure
might
is.
be. I know
And
he's
in the
in
new
number
one.
2.
He's definitely in the
And
first
in the new
one.
one.
And he's in the
'Cause
new one.
it's, when he comes up to the podium and he's like, "Do you have any idea how a man can hurt inside?" And he's like, the Weird Al's on the plane. And then he's the gunman in the police station when he walks in and hits him with the door on the second one. Then in the third
Yes.
one, he mugs him and takes his invitation.
Yes, a good point, Chad. And with that being said, please check out our Best Weird Al song episode from our podcast. It was our April Fool's Day special, and nobody listened to it. So listen to it now. Next, Bob will voice Frank, and I will voice Jane in one of our lead couple's first meetings from the original Naked Gun. Bob?
Nice beaver.
Thanks. I just had it stuffed. And keeping on that theme, also from the original Naked Gun, Chad will play Frank, and Todd will play Jane as they have one of their first misunderstandings. Chad?
Interesting. Almost as interesting as those photographs I saw today.
I was young. I needed to work.
I knew you could deliver that, Todd. I knew it. That's right. I gave it to you. So it's Nice Beaver versus I Was Young and Needed the Work. I would like to start this time with Bob. Which one are you going with?
I'm going to go with Nice Beaver. I think the moment of I was young, I needed the work is a funny moment, but it's not truly like a Naked Gun quote. That's something people say outside, maybe have never even seen Naked Gun. That's just like a joke that people make about people when they're young and doing things that, they're embarrassed about, or, being in porn or whatever.
On this
Jane,
podcast.
yes, or on this podcast, right? I don't know as though it's like a true like Naked Gun quote where this Nice Beaver, this exchange with the sight gag with the stuffed beaver, like that is Naked Gun through and through. So I'm going to go with Nice Beaver.
Chad, Nice Beaver, or are you going with I Was Young and Needed the Work?
I was young and I needed the work. The beaver one always kind of skews me out, I gotta be honest.
All right, that's fair. Todd, is it going to be Nice Beaver? Or is it going to be I Was Young and Needed the Work?
So I think with this, like one of the things I really like about the Naked Gun movies is that they rely on so many different types of humor. And when in this case with Nice Beaver, like you've got him saying something that you kind of take a step back and like, wait, what did he say? And then the gag doesn't really hit until she obviously hands him the stuffed beaver a couple of seconds later. So you're given that kind of couple of seconds to think, wow, really, did he just really say that? Whereas I Was Young and Needed the Work, I think is kind of just, it's just kind of out there. So I'm going to go with Nice Beaver.
Sorry, Chad, I'm also going with Nice Beaver. And to me, that whole sequence with Frank in Habsburg's office gives you the tone of this movie. Like, there's that whole exchange where he's talking to, by the way, Ricardo Montalban, so good in that movie. And he's like holding court and he gives him the pen, and then he did like the samurai pen that cannot be broken.
I think
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Bob.
I think my favorite part is when he's like, "Do you know what was out there just like 10 years ago?" Yeah, because he's got the fish that grabs onto
Biting
his nose, bites
Oh,
his
you bet you do.
Oh, here, let me get you some Kleenex. Like,
That whole sequence is so good. And Jane with the Beaver, I think, is like when you really get just how absurd this movie is going to be. So for me, that's my reason. So Nice Beaver is 3-1. It will move forward. Next, more from the original Naked Gun film, as I will voice Ed while Chad plays Frank, realizing he has misinterpreted Nordberg's deathbed confession. A Panamanian ship. Frank, when Nordberg said, "I love you," he was telling you the name of the ship.
I realize that now.
And Bob will play the driving instructor, which Chad is Frank, featuring an assist from Todd as the irritated truck driver. Todd, take us.
You done broad.
all right, Stephanie, gently extend your arm, extend your middle finger. Very good.
There he is. Go for it, Stephanie.
Go for it, Stephanie. So it's I realize that now versus go for it, Stephanie. I'm going to start with Todd on this one. Where are you going?
This one's really really tough because I use both of these all the time. I have to say, I think the sequence for "Go for It, Stephanie" is more iconic to me than I realize that now. So I'm gonna go with "Go for It, Stephanie."
Bob, go for it, Stephanie, or I realize that now.
I realize that now is a great like a great example of the kind of humor from these types of movies, right? That I realize that now. Like it's just a really good example of that, but I cannot turn my back on Go for It, Stephanie. We have a sequence in this film with America's favorite old fart sitting in a car with this girl, Stephanie, and just the number of times, to the point Todd makes, the number of times that I just say, "Go for it, Stephanie," in a given week. And I know I keep saying that about all these quotes, but this is probably the one that I say the most, I would guess. But "Go for it, Stephanie" is just so good. And there's so much like emotion in it that like when you deliver it in real life, it's just a lot of fun to say and to incorporate into my daily life. So I'm going with "Go for it, Stephanie."
So, listeners who don't know this, we used to say this all the time as kids in our family, and it delighted me when Chad did inevitably marry a woman named Stephanie, that we would now be at this place. I feel like our entire lives have been building to this moment. Chad, is it go for it, Stephanie, or I realize that now?
Ironically, I don't use the "Go for it, Stephanie" very often. She doesn't have the same love for the movies, so every time I say
Sure.
it, she just kinda, like,
That doesn't mean
looks
you
at
can't
me.
say it to her.
Yeah, that's also true. Maybe I should try. I didn't realize that the driving instructor was America's favorite old
Yeah,
fart.
Oh, yes, John
reading a
Houseman.
book. Yeah.
Um, so, what I like about I realize that now. I mean, I use that all the time, and it's a capstone to a whole exchange where it's Frank and Nordberg in the hospital, and Frank's like, "Oh, a boat," and Frank's like, "Yes, when you're better, we'll go out on a boat." He's like, "No, drugs." And he's like, "Well, that's a little bit of a tall order, Nordberg. If you haven't
Yes,
give me a
yeah,
couple
I'll see
days
what I
up."
can do.
I'll see what I can do. And then it was, I love you. And then, oh, I realize that now. So I like that as the capstone. The Go For It Stephanie also kind of loses out on this medium because there's a visual part to it where after the America's favorite old fart does it, where she like raises which is so good. But I think I have to go. I realize that now. I use it so often. It's in my head so often that I have to do it.
So, if you're listening, Chad, this is your fourth, I think, Patreon-sponsored episode? Fourth or fifth?
I think it's 5, but I
It
can't
might be 5.
name on the top of my head.
And we do have a trend on these episodes where poor, long-suffering Chad will literally pay for an episode and then not win. And that trend continues because I'm giving it just go for it, Stephanie. Whoever cast the woman playing Stephanie in that car deserves a raise. She is exactly who should be, this milquetoast, portly woman with the sad, like, 80s white girl perm, like just looking completely horrified and like out of her mind as she's being shot at and like, driving down the road. It's perfection. Go for it, Stephanie. I can't say no to it. So we will move Go for it, Stephanie into round 2. Next, 2 quotes from the sequel, Naked Gun, 2.5, The Smell of Fear. First, Chad will play Lieutenant Frank Drebin as he stands up to Bob Goulet's menacing villain. Chad, take it away.
Oh, it's all right. I'm sure we can handle this situation maturely, just like the responsible adults that we are. Isn't that right, Mr. Poopy Pants?
And next, Todd will play Frank, and I will play a sex shop worker being questioned. Is this some type of bust?
Well, yes, it's very impressive, but we need to ask you a few questions.
I wish I had more cleavage for that. It just doesn't translate. So it's Mr. Poopy Pants versus some type of bust. Chad, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, Poopy Pants all day. I mean, number 1 with a toddler, that's just kind of my life right now,
It is, yeah.
and we get a lot of use out of that line,
Yep.
so it has to be Poopy Pants.
You are Mr. Poopy Pants right now. Well, so is
Oh.
the president of our country, but let's not talk about that. Ugh. Todd, is it Poopy Pants or some kind of bust?
Oh, it's absolutely Mr. Poopy Pants.
Bob, Poopy Pants or some kind of bust?
I love some kind of bust. It is one of the thinker quotes, right, from this, and Poopy Pants is getting into that silly, kind of just goofy toilet humor type of Mr. Poopy Pants. I'm ultimately going to give it to Mr. Poopy Pants, but this is something that I said to Eric off mic, was that I think after the first movie, the second and the third start to lean more into the slapsticky goofiness versus the first movie, which really maintains that DNA of the Police Squad, where it was that really dry jokes and delivery, ridiculous jokes delivered so dryly. Whereas I think as the movies move on, and Poopy Pants is an example of this, it starts to become more goofy and silly. But I am going to give it to Poopy Pants because it's directed towards Bob Goulet in the second movie, and it is a very funny moment. So Mr. Poopy Pants wins.
I'm totally on Mr. Poopy Pants here. I do love that the some kind of bus girl looks like the American Value version of Juliette Lewis. Like every time in my mind, that's who I see. But
That's
it's
100% true. I never thought about it. I'm like, is that
100%
Juliette
true.
Lewis? It's not. It's
Hey,
the
real quick,
Temu brand.
Has everybody seen the actual series that this was based on? Because I never saw Police Squad.
No, and I don't know where one can even find it at this point.
You really have none of you have
I've
seen
nev-
this before?
No,
Oh, I've
no.
seen the whole thing many times.
Is
you
it
can
good?
find
Where do you see
find
it?
clips on YouTube. You can find, jokes on YouTube. Like, and there are so many jokes in these movies that are directly lifted out of the show.
Sure.
So
Because the show wasn't
yeah,
very popular. It was only like, what, 6 or 8
6 episodes
episodes?
and
6
are canceled,
episodes,
yeah.
Yeah.
and I don't think they
Okay.
aired all 6. I think they canceled it after 4, but there was 6 in the can.
Yep, I think that is right. So,
That's what
thank
he
you. That's
said?
news you can use. All right, so we will be moving Mr. Poopy Pants into round 2. In our next matchup, Bob will play Frank, questioning Jane, played by me, as Frank tries to get to the bottom of the Meinheimer mystery from Naked Gun 2.5. Bob?
Have you noticed anything different about Dr. Meinheimer?
Well, only that he's a foot taller, and he seems to be left-handed now. Frank, what are you trying to tell me? That Quentin has somehow found an exact double for Dr. Meinheimer, and that tomorrow that double will give a fraudulent report to the president?
Well, that's brilliant. That's a lot better than what I had come up with.
Meanwhile, Chad will portray Frank as he delivers his soliloquy about his ex-girlfriend from the original Naked Gun.
I'd known her for years. We used to go to all the police functions together. Ah, how I loved her. But she had her music. I think she had her music. She'd hang out with the Chicago Male Chorus and Symphony. I don't recall her playing an instrument or being able to carry a tune. Yet she was on the road 300 days of the year. In fact, I bought her a harp for Christmas. She asked me what it was.
Excellent. So it's he's a foot taller and seems to be left-handed now versus she had her music. I think she had her music. Todd, which one is it going to be for you?
I think for me, I'm gonna go with he's a foot taller and seems to be left-handed now.
Bob?
These both require you to really like listen to what people are specifically saying, or you're totally gonna miss it, because it's so well written, and delivered so well that you don't even realize that they're making a joke. And I don't know how to pick between the two. And I think I'm going to go with foot taller left-handed, because it's when you really think about it and realize it is a hilarious thing to say. Is like, oh, nothing really, like just he's a foot taller, like, and he seems to be left-handed. Like, yeah, those are some pretty significant changes. But there's no real quote here in either of these, so I find it kind of difficult to pick, but also difficult to defend any of these as actual quotes. But that's the one I'm going with, left-handed.
Chad?
And I'm left-handed.
I think I'll probably go with the harp for Christmas. She asked me what it was. I like the sort of longitudinal aspect of just Frank never understanding any of the people that he's with. Like at one point, Ed tells him he's like, "Oh, you could be killed," and he's like, "Well, I could end up dead as my middle name." And he's like, "Well, what about Jane?" Well, I don't know what her middle name is. And so this just kind of falls into the same idea of it's like he just has no real functional clue. And what's really more iconic about white men than that? So
Right. Yeah, white men not understanding women, that's America, baby. Um, I think I'm giving it to left-handed as well, Chad. I'm sorry. Once again, you're getting on the outs. My thought there's again, everything with Dr. Meinheimer in this movie is so funny. The scene where Frank is trying to get out and he's being like
Yes.
things are falling on his head. The scene where Jane says to him, you know what you're going to do if you've had that much man, but you'd never understand that. And he gives a look to the camera, like everything about it. And then the fucking hacker part. There's no way to work this in there, but with the scene where Hacker reveals himself and says, "Hacker," and then he's driven. Like it's so...
Wait till they get a load of me.
And then the scene where they're introducing Hacker to the bad guys, and he takes off his various disguises, like, and I'm worth every penny of it. Like it's so stupid, and I love it. But yeah, I'm giving it to left-handed. Sorry about it, Chad. All right, next it's the exchange that gave Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear, its name, with Bob playing a bad guy and Todd portraying Lieutenant Frank Drebin, whose cover has been blown. Bob, take it away.
What's that smell?
Oh, that would be me. I've been swimming in raw sewage. I love it. I love it.
Now I will voice Jane, and Chad will portray Frank as they argue about why their relationship never worked via Naked Gun 2.5. Oh, Frank, we were no good together. All you ever lived for was your police work.
and you were always busy trying to save the end zone layer.
Ozone layer. Frank, you never tried to understand.
How can you say that? I sank every penny I had into buying that 1,000 acres of Brazilian rainforest. Then I had it slashed and burned so we could build our dream house.
Frank, how can you be so insensitive?
Insensitive? You think it's easy displacing an entire tribe? You try it sometime.
Excellent. So
Terrible. That's terrible. I can't vote for that.
I love it. And I have to say, that is what I laughed out loud when that came up on 33. Or was it 33? No, it was 2.5. So good. I've been swimming in raw sewage versus you think it's easy displacing an entire tribe. Chad, where you're going on this one?
I love it. It's just so iconic. Naked Gun. Like, it just has to be that.
It's literally what gave the second movie its name. Todd, swimming in raw sewage, I love it, or displacing an entire tribe?
Just to give a little context for people who may not be aware of where that line comes from and why I said it the way I said it, I tilted my head down because if I recall, Frank was wired at the time,
Yes,
and I love
yes.
it was the go signal for Ed and Nordberg in the van. And so he said, I love it kind of softly, and then he says it a second time a little more gruffly and a little more loudly because he wanted to make sure that Ed and Nordberg heard it, just so I'm not a weirdo. It's got to be I love it.
Bob, which one are you going with?
And let's not also forget when Nordberg and Ed in the van get the signal, they try to open the door to the van and it's up against the telephone pole and they can't get out. That's the signal, guys. Let's go. Clunk, 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 clunk. Can't get out. But anyway, I love it. Is going to win on this one for me. It's one of those lines that after you leave the movie, the first time you've seen it, it just kind of sticks with you. Like that's one of the quotes that everybody will just remember because it's just so ridiculous. And I've been swimming in raw sewage. I love it. It's just something that sticks with you really quick on the first watch. So
It makes me
that's
think
why I
of
lean there.
it makes me think of when Jane is outside the hall, and I want to say it's Robert Goulet goes to see her, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing out here? It's so cold. Oh, I came out to get some fresh air." And they pan, and there's these dumpsters right next to her, and
Full
I
of
believe she says something like, "You grew up next to Lake Erie. There's
Yes, I
nothing
grew up
quite
next
like
to Lake
it."
Erie.
There's nothing quite like it. And it's just dumpsters full of rotting fish. There's nothing quite like it. Yeah. Everything about that fucking line is so funny. And the lead up to it, he's trying to get into the water and he can't get the pants on for the scuba suit and they keep flying off. And then he falls off to the wrong side. Frank, water's over on the other side. Yeah, the whole thing. I love it, and it's moving into round 2. For our final round 1 matchup, we have Chad playing Ludwig asking Frank, played by Bob, about the status of Officer Nordberg from the first Naked Gun movie. Chad, go first.
So, they were able to get him to the hospital in time?
Yes, he's in the intensive care ward of Our Lady of the Worthless Miracle.
And then from Naked Gun 2.5, I'll play the police commissioner who receives startling news about Frank's latest exploits. Todd will play Frank. Hello? He did what? How many animals escaped? Oh my God.
Good evening, Commissioner. You're looking lovely tonight.
Do you realize that because of you, this city is being overrun by baboons?
Well, isn't that the fault of the voters?
So it's Our Lady of the Worthless Miracles versus this city is being overrun by baboons? Chad, which one are you going with?
Baboons is very topical.
It is.
And this has always been one of my favorite quotes from that movie. So I just didn't know how prescient it was going to be later in my adult life.
Yep. Ain't that some shit?
Yep.
Yep. Bob, is it baboons or Our Lady of the Worthless Miracle?
We forgot to continue that worthless miracle exchange to the point where it's like when he's recovered, we'll see if he can still play the guitar. But the Lady of the Worthless Miracle, it's such a ridiculous thing to say and such a ridiculous name. I laugh at it every single time. I love it, but I actually agree with Chad. I'm switching over to baboons. It's so appropriate to our times that how can I deny it?
Todd, is it baboons or Our Lady of the Worthless Miracles?
What I love about Our Lady of the Worthless Miracles that it feels like a throwaway line. That being said, I did not fully understand the exchange between the commissioner and Frank about the city being overrun by baboons until 10 years ago, 10, 11
Right around
years ago.
2016?
Something like that.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
seems about right.
Is the fault of the
So,
voters.
I have to say, it makes a lot more sense now, and it is brutally funny. Brutally funny. So it's absolutely the city is being overrun by baboons.
Yes, the baboons. It's a clean sweep for me. I'm giving it to baboons. And that's the end of round 1. We're going to take a quick break to check in to see what Ted has been up to in the police squad lab. Don't touch that shoe. It's actually a knife. We'll be right back.
Good evening. I'm not Barbara Walters, and this is the great pop culture debate. In the ever-evolving landscape of pop culture, are you finding it difficult to keep up? The debates, the trends, the opinions, it can be quite overwhelming. What if there were a way to stay informed, to be in the know, without having to wade through a sea of information? I invite you to subscribe to the Great Pop Culture Debate newsletter, a curated collection of the most compelling discussions, the most insightful analyses, and yes, even a few controversial takes. Delivered directly to your inbox, it's your essential guide to navigating the fascinating world of movies, television, music, and more. Join us, won't you? Let us explore these cultural phenomena together. Subscribe to the Great Pop Culture Debate newsletter at greatpopculturedebate.com. Because as we all know, pop culture, it matters.
And we're back for round 2 of our best naked gun quote debate. Before we get into the Elite 8, I'd like my panelists to share their social media and what else they're working on. I would also love for our Patreon sponsor for this episode, Dr. Chad, to tell us why he picked this topic. Thank you so much for supporting us, Chad. And why this one?
The Naked Gun movies have always been a big thing for us and our family. I mean, I guess it was on cable in the background, and as we were going about our daily lives, like I just remember those constantly being on. And it's I think one of the few things that I remember watching with our dad,
Yep.
and he would love these
Yep.
movies. My goodness, he would love these movies, and he would laugh and carry on with them. So no, I was looking for a good topic that I thought would be kind of a bop, kind of a fun thing. And I just really was interested in low stakes, and you really can't get lower stakes than what's your favorite quote from a trilogy that's been concluded for, you know what, 40 years at this point, 30 something years?
30 years, certainly,
30
yeah.
years easily, yeah. When you referred to it as late 20th century in the intro, that made me feel really sad. I don't
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I don't like
We
thinking
all
about
turn
that.
to dust.
Yeah, no, this same thing. Like, this is something I remember watching with Dad. The Police Academy movies, which I would love to find a way to talk about
Yes.
the Police Academy movies. What a mess those are. And he loved Drop Dead Gorgeous. Oddly enough, he loved that movie. He thought that was hysterically funny.
It's because of Frida. The goddamn sons of bitches.
Goddamn! They keep saying, "Take down the goddamn Frida sign, you lazy sons of bitches." No, it was when Denise Richards comes out with the Jesus prop on the cross. My father literally fell out of the tiny wooden chair that was made for Chad when he was a baby. He literally fell out of the chair. He was laughing so hard. That is true. Great. Well, thank you so much for doing it, Chad. Bob, what are your socials? Where can people find you? What are you working on?
You can call me. No, you can't call me. You can find me at DisNerdBob on socials. Blue Sky specifically is where you will find me the most. You will also find me on our Patreon Discord, our exclusive Discord. So if you want to join Patreon at a certain level, you can get access to join us and other panelists in discussing and debating these sorts of topics in some lots of fun and heated conversation on the Discord. So I ask you to join us there. I know you didn't ask this question, but this was very much my father's brand of humor and my brand of humor as well. So this was a set of films that I could enjoy with my father. It's one of the few times my father actually went to the cinema. We saw the second one in the movie theater. That and Austin Powers 2 were the 2 times I've ever been to the movies with my father. So he wasn't going to go to Wicked with me. He just wasn't. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine my father going to Wicked. Todd, what are you working on? Where can people find you on social media?
Well, I don't have TikTok, and I'm really not on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. You can pretty much find me on Instagram or Facebook. I believe my name on both is just Todd Rezsnyak. I'm currently getting into like baking and cooking. I'm 5 years late after the COVID
Yeah.
thing. I'm discovering it now. So if you want to see what baked goods look like from somebody who's marginally better than somebody who would have been on Nailed It on Netflix, Dadong, check me out there. You'll see pictures of my adequate baking skills.
A perfectly adequate baker. I would like some of these baked goods that I hear being talked about. Send them through the mail. I will eat them.
I can do
Thank
that.
you very perfect. And Todd has been on several other episodes. You were also on Phil Collins. You were also on what, Todd? I forget.
Melrose Place.
Melrose Place.
That's
The
right.
Bob sponsored episode from last season, which is a really fun one. And you're on upcoming Annie Lennox, right? Best Annie
Yes.
Lennox Eurythmics song? Yeah,
Yep.
which we'll be releasing in a few weeks.
Okay, so in that context, WWE champion, Nintendo villain, Annie Lennox, Melrose Place. I'm absolutely bringing in the Butch. All
For
right.
what it's worth, Annie Lennox in the Sweet Dreams video has short orange hair, and for a few years, I thought she was a man.
Totally
had
Dom top energy.
She had that
I
like power suit on. To me, I thought that was potentially a man. So
I
I'm just
take
saying.
umbrage to you saying that Melrose Place is not Butch. I give you Jake Hansen.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You can
There
take
you
all the
go.
umbrage you want. The straight demographic on that was not performing high.
Ugh, Amanda Woodward begs to differ, but that we digress. Thank you for coming back, Todd. I appreciate you doing this and interrupting your busy, adequate baking schedule. So, the best place to follow us is on Blue Sky at gpcd.bsky.social or at Great Pop Culture Debate on Instagram or TikTok. You should make sure to subscribe to our page on YouTube where we're posting original video content. But what you really need to do is to sign up for our weekly newsletter. It's new every Tuesday at noon, and it tells you about everything that's coming up in pop culture that week. Sign up by finding the link on this episode at greatpopculturedebate.com or via our link tree on any of our social media accounts. Now, let's sneak into a fancy award show dressed up as a mariachi band. It's time to make our move in round 2, so I'm thinking of something more upbeat like Guantanamero. The next 2 rounds are going to be really fast. We're just going to go around the horn. We're not going to reenact the actual quotes. Matchup 1, it's the awfully big mustache line from Naked Gun 2.5 versus the Jesus Phil Academy Awards speech from 33 and 3. Todd, which one are you going with? Awfully Big Mustache or Jesus Phil?
Gotta be Jesus, Phil.
Chad, Jesus Phil or Awfully Big Mustache?
Gotta be Jesus, Phil.
Bob, Jesus Phil or Awfully Big Mustache?
It's gotta be Jesus, Phil.
Jesus Phil. Yeah, okay, I'll make it a queen sweep. A clean sweep, but also
No,
yes.
Queen Sweep was correct.
Was adequate. Yeah, I do think that Awfully Big Mustache is hilarious. It is very much the DNA of this movie series, but that whole Academy Award sequence almost makes 33 and a third worth watching. Almost. I'm giving it to Jesus Phil. Next, match 2. It's Nice Beaver versus Go For It, Stephanie. I'd like to start with Chad. You didn't vote for either of these, I don't think.
No, ironically. And now here we are with my
Here
wife
we
being
are.
named Stephanie. This is
Yep.
kind of a weird thing for me.
Yep.
But we're full on Go For It, Stephanie here.
Yeah, I can see why the Nice Beaver Go For It, Stephanie would be challenging for you at this stage in your
This
life.
is a weird moment for me. I'm
It's a
gonna just
weird moment. Yep. Do not listen to this, Elena, in the future. Bob, is it going to be Go For It, Stephanie, or Nice Beaver?
This is probably the hardest pair up I'm gonna have on this whole bracket because these are probably 2 of my favorites. I gotta go with Go For It, Stephanie. It's just I use it so much, and it is just go for it, Stephanie. The emphasis that you can put into those lines is just so good. So I'm gonna stick with Go For It, Stephanie. And Beaver is still more of a sight gag. You really need the visual to really truly understand that outside the context of the film.
Todd, Go For It, Stephanie, or Nice Beaver?
It's gotta be Go For It, Stephanie. I love Nice Beaver. Well, no, I appreciate Nice Beaver. But I love Go For It, Stephanie.
Yeah. We don't talk enough about Leslie Nielsen was like
Beaver?
a classically well, Beaver. Like Leslie Nielsen was a classically trained Shakespearean actor before he got into the Zuckerverse, like first like Airplane and then this. And he like we talked a little bit in round 1 about the dryness of the humor. And he's so serious in his delivery of this line and he's actually putting real acting. Go for it, Stephanie, with like such I give it to Go For It, Stephanie. Nice Beaver is amazing, but also we haven't even once talked about the concrete dildo that he's caught in an apartment assaulting some
Sexual
woman
assault with a
with a
concrete dildo.
dildo.
What were you doing up there?
Well, I think that's really what goes to the heart of these movies. I think, Bob, you might be right. I didn't think about it until you mentioned it, but like the first movie, I think in particular, you've got so many different types of humor, and it's hard to catch all of them. You've got the sight gags, you've got the play on words, you've got the cutaways, you've got, you've got all these different types. And I think the gargoyle or statue is one of those, because I was thinking about this before we started recording exactly about the concrete dildo, because it's a great line.
It's a great
But it's
line.
also one of those where that whole sequence works so well because he's sitting outside dangling from the ledge and he's got his hand on the penis of the statue. And then just like for a split second, the camera cuts and shows you the face of the statue. And it's a guy with just a big grin on his face. And then it cuts back. But it's like, it's one of those, you could miss it if you're not looking. And that's one of the reasons why these movies, especially 1 and 2, but that's why they're so good because they rely on so many different types of humor, and they blend them so well. And you just don't see a lot of that anymore. Like all of those spoof movies that came in the early 2000s, they go for what Bob was talking about, like that lowest common denominator, like the fart jokes, that kind of stuff, that kind of crass stuff. And you just don't see that really, at least in the first 2.
There's the dumbest throwaway moment in the first movie where they're trekking on the Nordberg, being shot in the boat, and there is the chalk outline of the person floating in the water. Like, that is such a dumb moment, but it's so funny. Yeah, great points. All right, matchup 3. It's Mr. Poopy Pants versus only that he's left-handed and is a foot taller. I'd like to start with Bob. Which one are you going with?
I don't know. I don't have a strong passion for either of these, but I think I'm going to go with Mr. Poopy Pants because you can give a fun delivery when you say it. Mr. Poopy Pants?
Yep, you sure can. And we did. Chad, Mr. Poopy Pants, or only that he's left-handed and seems to be a foot taller?
Mr. Poopy Pants.
Todd?
It's Mr. Poopy Pants, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That one also does build up to that because in your intro, Chad, we did the I'm dating. She wrote the book on male sexual dysfunction. You've probably read it. It's this like low-key slapping between him and I forget Bob Goulet's name.
Quentin Hapsburg.
Quentin Hapsburg?
Hapsburg, yes, thank you.
So something that Todd had mentioned, I mean, when you talk about like the lowbrow humor, like Mr. Poopy Pants is super lowbrow, but I would argue the one right before it is actually kind of like the male sexual dysfunction. You probably read it. It's kind of an intricate insult. Like it takes a little while, and then immediately in the next exchange, he just calls him a poopy pants. So I kind of like the contrast.
It's a deep burn, Patrice. Like, it's genuinely good. So, yeah, I'm giving it to Poopy Pants. Finally, in round 2, it's I'm swimming in raw sewage. I love it versus this town has been overrun by baboons. Todd, which one is it going to be for you?
The city's being overrun by baboons.
Really? I'm shocked.
Wow.
Okay. Todd, Bob, is it going to be baboons or I've been swimming in raw sewage?
I've been swimming in raw sewage. I love it.
Chad, I'm swimming in raw sewage or overrun by baboons?
I'm overrun by baboons.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I think that was my top choice. Like overall, I think that won my bracket.
That's fascinating.
I just love that line.
You know what? Since it would be a tiebreaker anyway, if I voted for raw sewage, it would go to Chad as this Patreon sponsor. It's going to baboons, right?
I was the first one. Doesn't it go to somebody else next, or do I just get all the tiebreakers?
You're the tiebreaker.
Hell yeah.
I
Prepare to
wish
have
that's
this
what would
bracket
happen on
overrun
my
by baboons.
Patreon-sponsored episodes, but that's not what happens
I
on
change
my
the rules
episodes.
every fucking time. It doesn't matter.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it just started with me and then it was alphabetical.
Yep, sure
from there.
did. First time we've
Okay.
ever done this, Chad. By all
Okay.
means, why don't you just tell us the winner right now, Chad? Just tell us the winner.
Overrun by
right.
baboons.
I don't even remember. But okay, Bob, if it was your tiebreaker, it would go to raw sewage.
No, it's fine. Let's just let him break the tie. It's
Give
fine.
me this.
Give him
Of all
this.
of the-
Just he's
of
the
all of
only
the
straight
tragedy
white
I've
man
suffered.
on this podcast.
This is still his hill, and these are his beans.
All right, so we're going to give it to Overrun by Baboons. Why the fuck not? And with that, we have our final 4. We're going to take in a daughter's game and try to assassinate Queen Elizabeth. We'll be right back.
How about that?
Hey, pop culture squirrel friends. Are you gagging for all the tea, but missed the latest episode of your favorite show? Don't fret, darlings, because we've got you covered. Head on over to greatpopculturedebate.com for all the juicy recaps, Hanny. We're talking blow-by-blow breakdowns, shade trees full of opinions, and enough pop culture realness to fill a library. So if you want to stay in the loop, and honey, you do, then sashay over to greatpopculturedebate.com/recaps. Because if you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else's recap? Can I get an amen? And we are back with the final 4 of our Best Naked Gun movie quote debate. At this point in the show, I like to take a step back and see if it shook out the way I expected it to. We have a final 4 of Jesus Phil from Naked Gun 33 and a third versus Go For It Stephanie from the original, and Mr. Poopy Pants from 2 versus This Town is Overrun by Baboons, also from 2. I'm glad that we have all 3 movies in here. I think that's nice. The fact that 33 and a third made it to the finale is actually kind of miraculous because overall it is not a good movie. It's just
No.
vast stretches of it are really boring, and it's just kind of bleh, but the Oscar sequence is outstanding. Todd, you were going to say something?
Oh, just that I was surprised that 3 made it into the finale too, because you're right. Like the first, I don't know, 2/3 of that movie is really just a setup for the Academy Award sequence, which is the only really redeeming part of that movie.
There's the
What is
whole. Go ahead, Bob.
No, I said it's funny because we have one of these quotes isn't even from like a primary, like Jesusville is from Raquel Raquel
It's from
Welch.
Raquel
Like
Welch.
from a character perspective, like it's Frank and it's the mayor and it's Raquel Welch. It's weird. We don't like have any Jane. We don't have any Ed. We don't have any OJ Simpson. Although he didn't say anything in the first movie pretty
Yeah.
much. But
Speaking of O.J. Simpson, we have not even talked about this, and Bob read the book by the directors of this film, the Zuckers.
yes, that's right. There was they had a book where they comment on him. Not a lot, but they did have the best quote that I've ever heard regarding him was they said, quote, his acting was a lot like his murdering. He got away with it, but no one really believed him.
Which is one of the most savage reads of all
Savage.
time. And we had to mention it in this episode. We could not mention it.
Was that published before or after his death?
Oh, after. That
Uh,
was like last year.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's fairly recent, I believe.
Wow.
It's a good book.
Yeah. And we do want to talk about Airplane and some of their other movies as well before we go on too long. But let's get into this sucker. We have Jesusville from 33 1/3 versus Go For It, Stephanie. I would like to start in the back of the pack with Todd. Jesusville or Go For It, Stephanie?
Oh, this is really tough because on the whole, number 3 is not a good movie, and I don't kind of wanted to see it win. But God, that line is so damn good. But so is Go For It, Stephanie. But I think I got to give it to Jesus, Phil. Just the setup for it, the way it's delivered. Raquel Welch is on point.
Yep.
I think I got to give it to Jesus, Phil.
Bob, is it going to be Jesusville or Go For It, Stephanie?
I'm with Todd because this is so difficult. The Naked Gun is so much the police squad and it really lives in that DNA and this is all part of it. And Go For It, Stephanie is just such a great line. It's a great moment. There's such an intensity in the scene. I just love everything about it. I guess there's an intensity in the Jesusville scene as well, but it's tough to pick. I'm going to go for it, Stephanie, because it's the one that stuck with me first. It hit with me first. It's the one that I say probably more than Jesusville. So go for it. Go for it, Stephanie.
Chad, Go For It, Stephanie, or Jesusville?
It's the bomb.
It's Sawdust and Mildew.
Sawdust and mildew.
I'm gonna go with Jesusville. The third movie I think kind of summed itself up very well, where Ed and Nordberg burst into the control room. They're like, I'm Officer Ed Hawken and this is Officer Nordberg, and we're here to prevent a disaster. And the director's like, you're a bit late for that.
Yep.
The whole movie just kind of like it relies a lot more on sort of situational humor, like the thing where Frank going to the doctor to spy on Tanya Peters, but he doesn't recognize it's a sperm bank.
Yep.
Like, there's nothing really like funny in terms of the quotes, but the situation's kind of funny. But it's not usually laugh out loud until like that last third with the award ceremony. But even so, like that whole thing with the speech with the cats and the reaction of it, it's just so good. I can't leave it.
I don't think the Zuckers directed the third film. I think it was directed by someone else, and to me, it shows. I think it may have been George Segal, the actor from Look Who's Talking and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. If someone can fact check that for me. I understand that we're all shitting on 33 1/3, and we should. Like, one of the things rewatching that movie is there's an entire subplot that's supposed to be like Thelma and Louise with Jane and Ellen Green from Little Shop of Horrors that goes absolutely nowhere and has like no bearing on anything. It's just to keep her and Frank separated for most of the film. Bob, what do you got?
It's
Right.
Peter Segal.
Yeah.
Peter Segal, so not George Segal. But like to me, it just tonally doesn't feel like the other two. But that scene at the Academy Awards is so good, and that whole him stretching for time as Jane is backstage steaming envelopes trying to find which one has the bomb in it. It's fucking hysterical. I'm giving it to Jesus Phil. So
Well,
yes.
if I can interject in terms of subplots, like one of the more problematic parts of that movie is the whole reveal with Tanya Peters at the end.
Absolutely.
It's number one problematic, especially
Yep.
in modern and with like modern understanding. But like number two, it comes out of literally nowhere.
Nowhere.
There's nothing anywhere in the movie that even leads to it. Whereas like Ace Ventura, by the way,
Yep.
spoilers. There are at least things like your gun is digging into my hip. And then it comes up like, oh, okay. But no, this just comes out of nowhere. It was completely unnecessary, and it was cheap. There's no reason for
Yeah,
it.
it was clearly like added in probably way late in the game post because the crying game had probably come out like just
Yeah.
shortly before that. So they probably tried to shoe wedge it in there as quickly as they could, and it just didn't work, I would imagine.
And then afterwards, when Frank finds out he like is incapable of speech because he's so disgusted by the whole thing, it's really gross. Like I
He
would call
throws
it.
in he throws
Go
up
ahead.
into the guy's tuba, yeah.
Yeah, like I was gonna say casual misogyny, but it's not even casual it's like objective homophobia. It's really fucking gross. But still we're avoiding it. It's in the final two, so congratulations. And then we have Mr. Poopy Pants versus Overrun by Baboons. I'd like to start with Bob. Which one are you going with?
I'll go with Mr. Poopy Pants here.
Todd, Mr. Poopy Pants or Overrun by Baboons?
I'm gonna go with Mr. Poopy Pants.
Chad?
Baboons!
Baboons? I'm going with Poopy Pants here. Sorry, Chad.
I love the delivery from the commissioner. Do you
Yes.
have any reason do you have any idea what you've done? Um, but I understand it. Now, I have a little hypothetical here because we
Mm.
just knocked out I love it for the baboons one, right? And that was
Uh-huh.
controversial as far
Uh-huh.
as this episode goes. So how many of you guys would have changed your vote if I love it got into this?
Interesting. If it was Poopy Pants versus I've been swimming in raw sewage, which one would you go with, Todd?
It probably would have been I Love It.
Bob?
I would have picked raw sewage.
Chad?
That's actually an interesting one. I probably would have
That's
gone
the
poopy pants,
question.
actually.
You probably would have gone with what?
I probably would this is what I do. This is how I, like, interact with students is I ask them questions and I let them respond, so I'm not
Mm.
usually formulating my own. I would've gone poopy pants, actually.
Interesting. So Chad would have lost anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yay! There it is. We're back to form.
All right. If we're sticking with baboons, I'm still gonna get to Poopy Pants. So it will give us a final two of Jesus Phil versus Mr. Poopy Pants. One from 33 and a third, one from 2.5 Smell of Fear. I would like Chad, as the person who did not vote for I don't think either of these, go first.
No, I voted for Jesusville.
Okay.
And I voted for Jesusville in defiance of the movie. But in this one, because it's so close, I think I actually will. I just don't want 33 and a third to be like the best quote. So I think we'll just go poopy pants.
Okay. Todd, is it gonna be Poopy Pants or Jesus Phil?
Mm, I'm gonna go with Jesus Phil.
Bob?
I'm going to go on record in saying that it is wrong that we don't have the first movie represented in this final two. Not acknowledging the movie that has the most DNA and it is most true to the Police Squad humor and theme and feel. But that being said, I'm going to go with Jesus Phil because I say it all the time. So Jesus Phil.
I would go with Mr. Poopy Pants, but I don't want to have a tie for the win, and I don't want Chad to have given executive power over what should win. So to wrap this sucker up, I will give it to Jesusville, which really to me encapsulates the entirety of that whole Academy Awards dialogue with her and him and Raquel Welch. So there you have it, folks. Our pick for the best Naked Gun movie quote is Jesus, Phil. Do you agree? Do you think this is all some wild plot orchestrated by Pap Smear? Tell us how you really feel by leaving a comment on this episode at greatpopculturedebate.com or find us on Blue Sky or Instagram. While you're there, make sure you subscribe and follow the podcast so you can hear about what new debates are coming soon, vote in open polls, and even decide which topics we tackle next. I want to say thank you to my panel, but you should know I faked every orgasm. And thank you for listening. If you loved what you heard, please consider supporting us on Patreon, where you can get even more exclusive content. And you get episodes a whole day early. We hope you have a good one. And remember, everyone is entitled to their wrong opinion. Now, Sam, play your song again, for old time's sake. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch, oh witch, wicked witch.